Okay. Well, we're here to tell you a little bit about a food program that a group of students in my class started 3 years ago, Igor?
3 years ago.
3 years ago, we were doing a unit on food waste, and Igor had already been involved with another group helping to intercept food that was going to be thrown out. It was at the best before date, which means what, Igor?
Best before, it's been nothing else than just the perfect taste. So I would like to call them not anymore best before. I would like to call that perfect taste.
The perfect taste. So the best before dates are what people look at before they chuck all the food into the dumpster. So over the 3 years, they started out with one store, and they were bringing the food here. We started with the link people in the link program. It grew to how many families are you feeding in our link?
So in these past 3 years, I think more than 100 families are passed through our program, but right now around 35.
35 families on a regular basis. So they have expanded now to 7 stores, and these 7 stores, what else? And a coffee shop?
Yeah, JJ Bean Coffee Shop and 7 local grocery stores. And right now we are feeding like around 1,500 people per month. We are providing food to the First Nations school, to the 3 shelters, one in Coquitlam, one in Surrey, one in downtown. Also feeding the Union Gospel Mission and other society as Antlia's Place. What else?
Yeah, so they have gone through all the proper channels. They had to become a society. We separated the society from the classroom work, and they did everything. They have a president and a vice president, a treasurer, a secretary. They've done all the paperwork in Victoria. That then 2 years later, they became a charity, which is amazing. They did that all on their own. They had some input from other charities, from lawyers that were helping them to get the wording done. And now they're just continuing to ensure that all that food doesn't go to waste. And what's one of your ultimate goals, Igor?
Right. For me, ultimate goals will be that we put the same law as France. So we are...
Tell them about that law.
Yes, so that law, it's already existing in the past 3 years, I think, and it's spreading all over the Europe. The next country will be Italy. And they're forbidding to big grocery chains to throw food. So if you throw in the food, you will pay the fee. And they must. It's not anymore the question, do you want or not? They must to give food which is good, still eatable, for the poor people.
Yeah, so there's so much when you look at this not quite perfect food that's being thrown out. There really is nothing wrong with it. The people in our program realize that we just put it right in the freezer, or we cook it. We cut off some parts of fruit or vegetables. The difference between the food that Igor and his group are helping people with is that it is perishable. So they're going home weekly with meat, dairy, produce, yogurt, things like that are very helpful to their families, dinners and lunches and so on. And they're
So I would like to say that it's not just the fresh food and nutrition on your table, is also you're saving the money. And that money which is already almost gone on a landfill, it's coming back in economy. That's one thing, and the second thing, over the top of everything, is actually we are saving our environment, because when that all the food is finished on a landfill and start to be rotten, then producing a methane, and it's killing our air. So that's one of the really big thing. And when we're thinking that in Canada we are throwing $31 billion per year, which is really a lot. So I think we can save some part of that money and put it back in economy, and also save our environment.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what's really important. And it's important that people understand, that it's great. We had, if people, those of you that watched the first video, interpreters, the editor or the producer's interpretation of food waste was giant buckets of dirty bread. And they were, you know, zooming in on that, and that's not it at all. So we wanted to clarify that in the first video. It's not dirty food that they're literally picking up off the floor. It's food that's pretty much, you know, very close to being perfect.
No. So I would like to explain how this is functioning. The people inside the store, they're collecting the food which is not perfect anymore, I will say. So it's mean it has some bruises or something like that, so imperfection. And instead of throwing in a garbage, they're collecting that for us in a boxes, and then on the daily basis we are coming and picking up the fresh food and yeah.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is that they've had a group of volunteers, which is literally very, very difficult to achieve. The same group of volunteers every single week, every single day, 7 stores, every day. It's not that they can go to one store one day and the other. So if they make a commitment to that store, they have to go there. And what time are you getting up and getting to the stores?
We need to be there around 9.
Yeah, so they get up early, they get their kids to school. The drivers are literally driving themselves. They've taken no money for themselves. So now that they're a charity status, we're hoping that there can be some funds raised to actually pay for the gas. Gas has been very expensive, as you can imagine, going to 7 locations 7 days a week and then try to disseminate the food. That's one of the more difficult things. But we're hoping to expand the program, possibly to some other organizations. Igor was on Global News, and then he was on Global News again. And 2 weeks ago, he was the greatest Canadian of the week. Woo! For Global News across Canada. Tell us about that.
I don't know what to say about the interview, but I will say about impact which that interview made. So for me, it was very, very important to all the people in the chains understand what we are doing. So this interview is actually help people who are working in the stores to realize where the food is going. So they saw that, and now all of them, they are much more receptive. No.
Receptive.
Okay, so now they're much more receptive. Shout out to my coworkers,
whether you be in the foundations or the Link program. We would love to see this initiative replicated across Canada. I'm looking for some possible lessons in a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced level that we could put together on food waste, maybe incorporate some of the film clips, and go out and put a challenge out to other Link classes or other classes across Canada. It really isn't a difficult procedure, but it does definitely require commitment. And, Igor and the Immigrant Link Centre Society, a team which has been amazing. I'm so proud of them. I couldn't be prouder that they've, continued to keep this up, regardless of everything, and to keep that core.
Right. So for us, for everyone who wants to join and to participate in this beautiful program, it must know that this program is helping you personally to make your own connections in a new country for immigrants, and also to improve your English. So I think we have several of big points with this program.